Hello, in this demonstration I am going to show you how to create a Windows PE boot image. PE is the pre-installation environment. We need to start by first of all launching the Microsoft Windows Automated Installation Kit, which is the utility that you can use to create your own Windows PE boot disk. Then from here I want to click on Deployment Tools Command Prompt. This is the utility that's going to allow me to create a Windows PE boot disk. The first step we're going to do to get started is run a script called copy pe.cmd, and then I'm going to choose AMD 64 because I'm using a 64-bit processor. If you were using a 32-bit processor, you would do x86. I'm going to change mine back to AMD 64, and I want to have the output of this script run into the :/WinPE folder. What this is doing is building a folder structure that has all of the necessary files to create a Windows PE boot disk. So that script is done. So the next thing we're going to do is get the actual boot image file called winpe.wim located in the WinPE folder. So if we want to see that file, we could type in dir, and you'll see there's winpe.wim. This is the actual boot up image that a WinPE disk will use. And for organizational reasons, we want to put this file into the ISO folder. I'm trying to organize all of my files into the ISO folder so they're in one tidy location when we go to create our final ISO image. So I want to copy :/winpe/winpe.wim and place it in the :/winpe/ISO/sources folder, and I want to call it boot.wim as its final destination name. So I'm going to hit enter, and I've now copied winpe.wim into my ISO sources folder, and I've called it boot.wim. I'm going to make it a little easier on myself, and I'm going to copy the ImageX utility into my ISO folder as well. Just thinking ahead that if we ever boot a computer using a Windows PE disk and we want to capture an image, ImageX is there and ready for us. So I'm going to go ahead and copy, and I'm going to use quotes here because it's a long file name, :/program files / Windows AIK / tools / AMD 64. Remember, I'm doing that because it's a 64-bit environment I'm working in. If you're in a 32-bit environment, use x86, and then I am going to select ImageX.exe quote, and I want to put that into :/winpe/ISO, and I'll hit enter, and I've now copied ImageX just in case I want it later on. So the next thing I need to do is to take my ISO folder and turn it into an actual ISO. So I can burn that onto a CD or DVD, or I can keep it electronic and load it using an ISO reader. So I'm going to use a utility called oscdimg.exe, which will create a series of files and turn it into an ISO. And I want to use the -n option to support long file names. And then I have to use the -b option to declare where the boot sector is located, and that's what's going to start the bootable process as you turn your computer on and boot off of a Windows PE disk. So there's no space after -b. I just need to type right in there :/winpe/etfsboot.com. And this file was put into the WinPE folder when I ran my copy pe.cmd a little earlier. I now need to define which files we'll use to create the rest of the ISO image. So that's going to be located at c:/WinPE dot or WinPE/ISO. And then I need to define where to output my final ISO file, and that's going to be located at c:/WinPE/WinPE.ISO. Let's review here. We're going to use the osc.dimg.exe utility to create an ISO file. We're going to use the -n option to support long file names, and we'll use the -b option to locate our boot sector file. And there's no space after -b, you just define where that boot sector file is located, which is located at c:/winpe/etfsboot.com on my computer. From there, you have to define the additional files you will incorporate into your ISO image, which I have all located in the c:/winpe folder/ISO folder. And the output ISO file I want to save at c:/winpe, and I want the file called /winpe.iso. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and I am now creating an ISO file. It's almost done, and now it is done, so I'm going to exit out of this, and just to validate that it's really there, I'm going to go into the C drive and browse to the WinPE folder, and there it is, WinPE. It's a disk image file. If I right click on it and select properties, you will see it's a disk image file, ISO. It's 160 MBs in size. The next step for me would be to either burn this winpe.iso file onto a CD or a DVD, or it would be to keep it electronic and load it using an ISO reader. For now, I'm just going to right click on WinPE and I'm going to copy it because I want to take it away from my Windows 7 virtual machine, and I want to paste it on the actual host computer. So I'm going to go down below my virtual machine, right click and paste, and you'll see that if I minimize my Windows 7 virtual computer, I've got a winpe.iso file on my host computer. Now I can burn it much easier or use it electronically much easier. So that concludes my demonstration on how to create a Windows PE boot disk using the Windows 7 Automated Installation Kit. I hope you've enjoyed this video, brought to you by brickhouselabs.com, and thank you very much for watching.